What up, everybody? It's your boy Black Magus, and in my mood of getting back onto YouTube, as I do every so often, I really do apologize to you guys for just disappearing and coming back in like waves and then disappearing. Life be lifing, as they say, and that's the best I could put it. Like, again, no long-winded speeches over that shit. Life just be lifing. But hey, we still here. That's all that counts. Anyway, I know there's been a lot going on with Microsoft, and as somebody who's been very vocal about it in the past, where to the point where people think that I have a hate for Microsoft, I think. At least I've been told that before. It's not like I have a huge groundswell of people following me. Let's be honest, but like in my circle, I've had people say like, "Damn, do you hate Microsoft that much?" I'm like, no, not a hate thing. The money that I spend on Game Pass and these two controllers and all these Windows products says no to me. But I mean, I get it. You can't have a negative opinion of something surrounding something and not be accused of a hater these days. I get it. That being said, let me go ahead and say some more shit to be called a hater. What the fuck are you doing, Microsoft? Like, now, again, I've mentioned this several times, and I'll mention it again. Back in 2013, during the whole Xbox One campaign, where they had the whole, if you want to play online, get an Xbox, the whole, we're focusing on the studios thing, all the like stuff that pissed gamers off when it came to the Xbox One in its campaigning. I said back then, it's like, it seems to be like Microsoft going towards their ultimate goal, which was, at least when Bill Gates was in charge, becoming more of an all-around entertainment platform, and not necessarily just being a gaming platform. Like branching out and making sure that they're available and considered like this whole home ecosystem where you do everything through the one box or through their platforms. And that, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw that the Xbox would not exist anymore in a few years. Now, of course, that didn't age well, because here we are 12 years later and they're still talking about making the Xbox. But I don't know why they're lying to people. They're still, in my mind, still working on the plan of making Xbox more of a brand than being a piece of hardware. All the stuff that they've done in this past year has been mind-boggling. It's like, the past couple of years, let's say, because think about all the studios that they spent money on. What was it? Something like $9 billion in acquisitions? Or something crazy like that, maybe more. Getting, Bethesda, getting Activision, all these, studios under their fold. After one, they bailed and cut ties with the like 14, 15 studios that they announced during the Xbox One reveal back in 2013. Like, most of those studios don't exist anymore. It's like, alright, y'all did that. Y'all got all these big studios, well-named, established studios with well-named brands. They come out with another console, which you come out with like multiple SKUs for it. Okay. And hell, now you even have a branded handheld, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and you're talking about coming out with more hardware, but all of this counter all these like things that you've been doing that just makes no sense. The firing of people, the setting of this ridiculous 30% profit goal for a division which is not making the money that it used to be, because the console's not selling well enough. People are cutting their Xbox Live. I'm sorry, not Xbox Live. Xbox Game Pass subscriptions because you keep raising prices. You've raised prices on old hardware. Like, yo, it costs more to buy an Xbox Series console than it did when it came out during COVID. Think about that. It went up in price. Most consoles come down. It went up. And like, this is not to say that like others didn't. Like, I think Sony added like $50 per console because of tariffs and things like that. But they still come out with the bundles. Like, you can get the $3.99 bundle again for holiday. And they didn't like raise it like 20% or more like Microsoft done. Like, it's $800 for a Series X, I believe. Which, again, it's not even new hardware. It's like, it's one thing that Sony came out with the PS5 Pro and wanted to charge $700, which, hey, ridiculous fucking amount of money for a goddamn console. Or is it $600? I think it's $700, but either way, $600, $700, that's fucking insane. The fact that there were already $400 and $500, you know, was enough. Not like, now y'all gonna like have like a console that's $800. It's the fucking Neo Geo of the modern era. And nobody was buying your console before you made the raise in price. So what the fuck were you doing? What made you think that was the right move? And again, I still say this is all stuff to kill the hardware. Because if you see the marketing for Xbox, which that's another thing we got to circle back to. They've done some questionable marketing. On top of this marketing, the main marketing has been, you know, everything's an Xbox. They're talking about how like your TV, your phone, blah blah blah. Like, they market everything but the hardware. So you raise prices on hardware, I guess, to scare people off from buying it, and then try to counteract it by saying, hey, but if you got a phone, you got a smart TV, you can play Xbox games, just get Game Pass, which you, again, okay, cool. That sounded all well and good until you started raising prices on Xbox Game Pass. Xbox fucking Game Pass is ridiculous. Like, I have a separate rant for that. But yeah, it's fucking dumb. The cost of Game Pass now. The cost is outweighing the benefit. It's getting to the point where y'all are making, you know, fucking, you know, Netflix. That's the name of it. Y'all are making Netflix look very, very good. Very, very good. And making, because you're not getting, yeah, you're getting, you know, access to games, but you cut the day one thing a bit by making it selective of what games are going to be day one and what aren't. You've also switched it up to like what's available in which plan. It's just crazy. Like, the whole thing's crazy. Like, the strategy makes no sense. And I'm ultimately trying to figure out what they're trying to get to. Are they really trying to get to where I was saying, where they would be best fit in being a software only company? Because I still feel like when they were software and peripheral makers, they were at their best. But yeah, I don't know. It's so confusing. I'm sure it's frustrating, especially if you're like fan of the brand, to have this like crazy roller coaster with how they're treating your brand. It's funny too. I mentioned this to my boy Cardiac. Shout out to Cardiac. So, yeah, it's funny how when the Xbox started to be developed, and They hired people to work on it. They hired ex-Sega console people who had a grudge with Sony because they felt like Sony put them out of business. Now, if you know the history of Sega, Sega did some really stupid things with their console up until the end, to where even though the Dreamcast is considered one of the best consoles ever made, they had run their course with the stupid stuff with the Sega CD and the 32 system and all these weird, strange moves that they had done leading up to the Dreamcast coming out and eventually flopping because people, didn't have brand trust. It wasn't that the Dreamcast was a bad console. Brand trust had fell off. To the point where people were just like, nah, I don't fuck with y'all no more. But they blamed Sony for killing them and not their own actions. So you hire all these people who came in with a vendetta for Sony. Their biggest goal was to kill Sony. And now, while most of those people aren't there, if any, history is kind of repeating themselves where the company itself is killing the product that they made and that people loved. And hopefully we don't get another company coming up with a bunch of ex-Microsoft people blaming Sony for this, because Sony ain't do this to y'all. Nintendo ain't do this to y'all. PC ain't do this to y'all. Microsoft's self-imploding the Xbox brand themselves. And it's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Again, I understood the move when the Xbox One came out and how it fit with the plans that you wanted to go with the brand. I don't get what y'all doing now. It's very, very weird. And it's very sad for fans of the product. Definitely. It's sad for the fans of gaming, period. Because come on. It's dumb. To the point where I'm even worried about the acquisitions. Because again, I said they were at their best when they're a software company. Are they going to be at their best with the decisions they've been making right now? Are they going to make just as equally dumb decisions that's going to lead to the utter destruction of things like Call of Duty? Even though Call of Duty is not as big as it was, Call of Duty is still a very successful and well-liked game, by fans. Are y'all going to ruin Activision, period? Because Activision got a lot of stuff with Blizzard and still have a lot of properties that people might like. Are you going to ruin Bethesda? All these acquisitions y'all made, all these studios that y'all got, are y'all going to end up killing a huge chunk of the gaming, ecosystem, because you guys are just doing these wild and crazy things right now? I mean, damn. Come on, Microsoft. Get this shit together, or let these other companies, let Bethesda, Activision go back to being independent and doing their thing. And just fold tent and don't, make software. Just have Microsoft software continue stuff like Halo, Gears, whatever if you want to. But y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta, at least, if you're not just gonna just go ahead and pull the band-aid off now and do that, at least stop fucking around and making these wild decisions. But I don't know. Anyway, as always, you guys feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. This your boy Blak Magus, and I'm out. Listen.